Yorushka and their album Second Person that apparently came out earlier this year. We're going to be beginning a track by track listen through to this album. I decided this was something I wanted to do because I have kind of heard so much about Yorushka. I've heard a couple of their songs, and everything I've listened to I've really enjoyed, and people keep on going, well, Howard, this is a band you should absolutely check out more of. And as I sort of learned about N Bunner and the history with Vocaloid and heard the song that Ado covered of N Bunner's, and then I was thinking about all the cool Yorushka stuff I'd heard. I'm still getting used to pronouncing that. It's something where I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to take a risk and do a track by track listen through, and that's what we're here to start today. Now, I'm aware this looks to me like an intro, so as a result, we're going to be listening to Early Morning Mailbox and then going straight into, I already queued it up to avoid adverts, Become a Cloud. So we're going to be listening to those two songs today and then continuing a track by track listen through. I will point out there is like 22 songs in this. It's going to be quite a long one, this. Actually, to be honest, I'm not sure about the ones at the end. They've got re-recording and some official videos. I don't know if these are like additional bonus tracks. So guys, let me know so I can know which of these songs are officially from the album. Also looking through, there's a couple of songs like Mars that, Martian, maybe? My kanji's not great. I think that is Martian. There's songs like that which I have heard. I think that was in our Twitch streams we've done that, but there's also a lot of songs on here that I have not heard that have music videos and stuff as well. In fact, I think that might be the only song from this album I've already heard in advance. So, there you go. I thought I'd give this a go. I hope you guys enjoy it. I got a lot of really good responses to the couple of Yorushka songs I do. But as I always say, I don't do these just for the clicks. Of course, if a lot of people really enjoy something, I want to dive in if I enjoy it as well. There have been some artists where people have enjoyed them, but it just hasn't been for me, so I haven't covered it. But I always want to sort of share stuff where we can have a productive conversation. And as always, I will always give my honest opinions. If you're new to this channel, just to let you know, when I do one of these track by track listen throughs, I look at the songs both from their individual qualities, but I also try to think about how they stand in the context of the album as well, which is always interesting for me because, I'm one of those people, I like having playlists, but I also like to occasionally sit down and put on a whole album, listen to the songs in the order that the artist intended to them to be listened to. As mentioned, I don't have a huge, I kind of know on paper the history of the group, but I don't have a huge familiarity with their back catalogue other than a couple of little listens. So I'm going to be listening to this entirely as, hey, this is an album from an artist who are well established and a lot of my friends like, let's see what I think. That's going to be my standpoint. Jumping into this. And then, if this goes well and if you guys enjoy it, then I might do what I've done with other artists and go back and check out things like their debut album and stuff like that. And hey, maybe we can share it all together. But I definitely want to check at least this album out. So let's see how we go. Now, just to mention again, I'm doing the intro song. Then I'm doing Become a Cloud, which is the first full-length song, because I'm really interested in the beginning and ends of albums as well. I said I like listening to album playthroughs, but there's often a lot of artistic license and creativity in how you begin an album. It says a lot about how you kind of theatrically think about the release. So I'm going to be checking this out. I'm really interested, with the cover and the name of the intro song. I just realized like so many of these songs are named in English. But I noticed the ones with music videos are not, which makes me think that the names we're seeing in English here are translations because these are from YouTube Music. Anyway, ready? Let's jump in. We're going to do the intro and then go straight into the first song, Early Morning Mailbox. Let's go. This is Second Person, beginning the track by track listen through. Yorushka, you're bored of hearing me talking now, aren't you? Let's go. Not just white noise. Oh, that's the letterbox. Oh, dissonant guitar. Oh, that is creepy. I love it. What was in your letterbox? Like the shaker, like. Alright, let's go straight into the first song. No delay. Don't worry, we'll talk about all of this afterwards. Oh, that is such a Such a beautiful way to start. Time signature of the rhythm. Vocals, guitar, piano, bass, everything's on a different rhythm, but beautifully all sort of layered together. Yeah, that layering is gorgeous. I could just listen to this on loop for hours. I love the vocal syllables can be so separate, just because there's so much happening instrumentally between them. Ooh. Bit of reverse reverb there. I heard a lot of people say that they went from a more digital sound in their older stuff to a much more live sound now. But this kind of has that feeling of music that's been crafted by someone who thinks about music on paper, and then gives it to talented people to add the feeling. I said I could just listen to this one loop for hours. I think that's pretty much what they're going to give me. It's a random saxophone bridge. I can remember the singer's name because she's got a beautiful voice and I keep forgetting her name. You guys keep telling me I can't remember. That was really gorgeous. That was really nice. It's interesting that, again, it says a lot about, given that I don't know much more than just what I know on paper about this artist, it's really interesting to see how they put their first foot forward with the album. And the very first song is a song that doesn't have a huge amount of development. It just kind of sets a tone and a mood. And the intro is also a track that just seems to be about setting a tone and a mood. What was really intriguing about this, if I'm just sort of judging this on my first impressions of these first two tracks, I mean, the intro is brilliant because I love, you get a few of these, but those intros really come in with very much kind of like a sound effect, like you can imagine the atmosphere. You've been transported to a place kind of vibe. But I know that feeling of like, so I know the sounds of like unlocking your post box in your apartment building in Japan. So I know that kind of metallic sound and everything. But then you just kind of get all these weird other sounds coming in, like a little bit of a hum, a weird sort of instrumental sounds, all these things. It adds this kind of I'm doing something very mundane, but there's a very bizarre, unpredictable thing going on over the top. It adds a nice little bit of sort of juxtaposition in there, where it's like the banality of something very normal combined with the unexpected. I'll tell you one thing: I don't particularly like getting unexpected things in my post. That's for sure. I open my post and it's just like, oh, okay, that's yeah, okay. There's a bill for like 20,000 yen. No, but though basically, unexpected. Yeah, so basically, the beginning of this album could be considered traumatic. But then we go into Become a Cloud, which is interesting because although obviously now the music starts, it maintains a similar ethos in that it kind of gives you immediately a soundscape, a sense of atmosphere, something very kind of locked in. But it kind of adds these little unpredictable elements over the top. The rhythm I really enjoyed. It very much focused on that rhythm and then had a chorus to pay it off. I do think for me, the chorus was nice, but the first time we had the chorus, it was nice. But then the second time we had the chorus, I've got to be honest, the chorus should be the bit that you want to come back round to. It's kind of the thing that holds it all together. But I've got to be honest, I found that the central verse, the central loop, I want to call it, but that central core was more interesting than the chorus. So when we got to the chorus, it's like, this is nice, but it's kind of like comparatively a little bit dull compared to what's happening in the verse. And you go back into that and you just go back into that sort of jazzy rhythm. So I think this one was nice for setting the mood. I wouldn't say, like, Become a Cloud is one of those songs where in its own right, I probably wouldn't come back to it for regular listens on its own. However, it is a song that I think makes a great kind of mood setter for an album. Now, I say that with no idea what's coming next. I'm looking forward to the next one we're going to be doing is The Flowers Are Also Noisy, which I didn't read that before. That is an amazing song name. Whatever this sounds like, I freaking love that song name. That has got to be translated from Japanese. There's no way that was written in it. This got to be YouTube Music has translated this from Japanese because that sounds like a Japanese title to me and I love it. The Flowers Are Also Noisy. Animal. But yeah, it's like, for me, honestly, I think this is a great way of setting a tone for an album. Obviously, that will be something I'll have opinions on more when I hear what comes next. But I think it just started a brilliant beginning because, as I say, the intro keeps you kind of like engaged with the atmosphere. And then the minute that Become a Cloud comes in, it's like, okay, it's very consistent with that kind of slightly unpredictable but chilled mood of the intro, but it gives that musical form. It gives you that kind of like, and as I say, the beauty of the fact that the piano, the bass, the drums, the guitar, and then the vocal when it comes in are all on different rhythms, but kind of still looping at the same pace over this time signature. I just think that's gorgeous. That's fundamentally what you want for the core of a song to make it interesting. Is every single instrument is bringing its own thing. Not a single one of the instruments is doing anything that you couldn't just play. Anyone could play it. It's all simple stuff, but it's the way it's laid, the way it's written. As I mentioned at the time, I think it sounds to me like something that would come from someone who started off as a Vocaloid writer, because this is one of the reasons why, as I mentioned before, Vocaloid writing, I think it needs to be given the respect it deserves. It is basically because Vocaloid writers are people who are used to just having like a blank sheet of paper, screen, but still a blank sheet of paper. Basically, it's like put everything together, put all the notes down, make it happen. And I really kind of get the vibe listening to this that it sounds like something where I can imagine you putting it together. I don't want to use the phrase math rock. People use that a lot of the time, and I think that's rather reductionist. I don't like that because all music has a mathematical element and all music has an emotional element. How you engage with that is a different thing. But I think separating some music and go, oh, this is really mathematical is just kind of, that to me sounds like if someone says that, I mean, they might say it with good intentions, but someone who calls things math the rock, to me that kind of almost sounds like you don't really understand how mathematical all music is. And so, for me, there is a kind of feeling where it feels kind of like scientific, mathematical, but I don't want to make that a reductionist thing. I just think this song seems to have a more rich engagement with the idea of layering things in that kind of interestingly mathematical kind of way. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. Thought this appealed to me a lot as someone who likes songwriting. I do think that the song's weakness probably is that it had a strong core, but the flow in and out of the verses and choruses felt a little bit frumpy. Didn't quite flow as nicely as I wanted. I don't think the chorus quite paid off the verse as much as I'd have liked. But overall, as an album track, without a music video that's starting off an album, I think this is a very strong start. Looking forward to seeing what comes next. Singers' voices are gorgeous. The writing is on point and the sound is really engaging. Let's see what we get next with The Flowers Are Also Noisy. As always, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.